for the good part. I just love kids. I believe in them. I believe in their amazingness, if that is a word. And I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity to help parents like you connect with them and believe in your kids too. So of course, the first thing we're going to talk about is believing in your kids. Then we'll talk about how to help your kids make decisions. And then we're going to talk about how to unite with your kids in those decisions. A lot of people are like, internal filter, what the heck? What is that? I like to talk about it, that it's just a red flag. So a lot of times your kids are not with you when they're using tech, especially after you give them that cell phone and all of a sudden they're gone all day and they have the cell phone but they don't have you. And what we want is for our kids, when something pops up that makes, they get a text message, someone cyberbullying them, whatever may be happening, we want them to have a red flag go up in their brain, like, this doesn't feel right. What am I supposed to do now, right? We are going to talk about how to create that and how to help them know exactly what to do. So, something that is so cool is that every time that a kid uses a screen or chooses not to use one, they're actually shaping their prefrontal cortex, right? Which is the decision-making part of their brain. It's amazing, and their brains in these young teenage ages are forming way faster than ours as parents. So let's take advantage of that, right? Let's use that. I came across this study that just baffled me. So in inner city Philadelphia, you can imagine that's a little different than where we live up here in North Spokane. They did a study, and this is what they found, that simply encouraging a child, okay, with belief in their ability to overcome adversity, did all these things. It improved their school performance, lowered behavioral problems, increased their safety and their resilience over time. Just by believing in them, you guys. Isn't that amazing? We can do that. We can provide that for our kids. Now, when we're trying to help them make decisions, if you have a younger kid, I want you to look at this yellow side of my slide. If you have middle and high school, you're going to focus over on this side. When our kids are faced with something that's objectifying, or actually before they see pornography, before they see cyberbullying, before something pops up on their screens, we want them to have an automatic saying that they can go to. And this is my favorite, tic-tac-toe. I started teaching my kids this again when they were preschoolers. This is what came to me when, right after I was sitting in those bleachers and I was feeling so defeated. This was the first little tool that I found, and it changed everything for me. It propelled my journey in educating myself on this. When we see something that makes us feel uncomfortable, we tic-tac-toe. We turn it off, we talk to a trusted adult, and we turn to something active. My middle schoolers still want to defer to this one, to this elementary version of, I feel uncomfortable, what now? It is so easy, and you can teach your kids this at any age. Once we head out of elementary, I like to up-level it a little bit. Kids are getting smart. They want more reasons behind things. And that's when we jump into this just a sec. We're going to really dive into that now by going through the healthy technology pathway. I love this. It helps us to really figure out what fuels kids' decisions, okay? So we're going to go through each step of this. I'm going to go through it pretty quick, but all of this is on our website, so you can go and get the printables. So first, I sit down with my kids and I go over these things with them. I ask them, what do you love about technology? You guys, we want to talk positive about tech, right? If we're just always saying the negative things, we're going to create a rift between us and our kids because they just always love it. So we want to talk about what do we love about technology, and then what don't we love? What do we maybe want to change, okay? Then we get to jump into my very favorite part, which is core values, okay? You might think this is a little above your kid because you're sitting there thinking, values? I don't even know what my values are, but I promise that it isn't. Values are things like kindness, integrity, courage, right? Respect, gratitude. I want you to sit down with your kids and see what they value. Who do they want to show up as in life? Who do they want to show up as at school? Who do they want to show up as when they're hanging out with their friends? If they can pick a one-word value that their brain can turn to when they're faced with something that they don't know what to do about, I promise that they will make a better decision. As we talk about values, I want to point this out to you. Just writing down your personal values does all of these things. Look at these bold words. This is what I want for my kids. They are more powerful, in control, proud, strong. They feel more loving, connected, and empathetic. You guys, writing about values helps boost GPAs and helps people persevere. That's what we want for our kids, right? And we can do that all with talking to them about one tiny little word that might fuel them. I was talking to my kids today about them. They chose, what did you choose? Courage? Peaceful. Oh yeah, peaceful, patience, and compassion, I think, right? Dax, what was yours?
I forgot.
He forgot today's. That's not helpful, Dax. Think about it. Okay, writing about your personal values can help your kids succeed. Okay, number 3, goals. I love goals. We have sticky notes all over our house with our goals written on them. It's so important that you write them down because sometimes people forget what value they chose, right? But we wrote it down and we put it next to our bed, and he's going to see it tonight before he goes to bed, and he's going to see it tomorrow morning. As we remind ourselves of these simple things, we can combat all of the evil that's out there in the world. Okay, this is when this just a sec pops in. Right before your kids get on tech, right before they send a text message to a friend, right before they turn on a movie, okay? If we can teach our kids, just like tic-tac-toe, if they see something uncomfortable, just a sec, they can stop and take a deep breath, right? Providing oxygen to our brain does miraculous things for us. They can evaluate. They can ask, does what I'm about to do match who I really am? Is this who I want to show up as? And then they can choose. Am I going to continue in what I was about to do? Like, does this text message stand with my value of courage? Or do I need to maybe make a different choice? And do I need to reevaluate? Okay? And then we're going to reflect and report back to someone and repeat and repeat and repeat. All of this is on our website, and I would highly recommend that you go do that so that your kids can benefit. Next is the opportunity to unite with our kids. I have had the opportunity in my life to have a lot of stinky socks, like dirty socks on my dining room table, and for some reason underneath the television, just everywhere in my house. And when I see a dirty sock, it is my pet peeve. I like lose it. I turn into like a Hulk smash. I'm like, what on earth? Why is there a dirty sock right here? And I know that that is not how I should react, but I am a human being. I want us to react differently to our kids when they are faced with very serious things online. When they have viewed an objectifying image, I want them to be able to come to me. If they are the victim of cyberbullying, or maybe they're the one that's actually performing the cyberbullying, I want my kids to be able to come to me. If they took a photo of themselves and shared it online, or if they receive messages from a stranger that they know they should not be talking to you, or talking to, I want them to know that I will react in a calm way. So I've been striving when there's socks all over my house to react in a calm way. Because if we freak out about a dirty sock, why is our kid gonna trust us when they've taken a picture of themselves and sent it to someone? Try to be a little more calm in your reactions in all aspects of life. We want our kids to know that we are the ones they should turn to, that we will listen to them, that we will love them, that we will give them an 8-second hug. Do you know your kids and every human are supposed to get 8 8-second hugs every single day? It increases the oxytocin in our brain, and that's what makes us happy. So give your kids more hugs. I want your child to be able to trust you. I want them to know that the dirty socks aren't the end of the world, and also that what they're doing online, they can tell you. They can trust you, and they can talk to you about these things. You guys are on the same team. And that's where rules come into place. How many times have you guys made a rule and thrown it down in front of your kids and they just don't want to follow it, right? It's very, very normal. It is so much more effective to make rules with your kids. These are amazing contracts, papers that you can go over with your kids. It helps us make rules like, who do we use tech with? When do we use tech? Where do we use tech? I know that these sound like simple things, but they're simple things that most American families don't go over with their kids. Most of them just assume, oh, they'll know not to do this. They don't. You are their parent for a reason. You have to communicate this to them. Okay, this is awesome. Fostering connection over technology with your kids is the best way to build a bridge. So, I was kind of butting heads with one of my kids over the amount of time that they desired to spend playing an unnamed football Nintendo game. And every time I walked past and he was playing it, I would tense up and he would tense up like, oh no, she sees me and I see him and what do we do now? And one day I was like, well, I have to break this wall down. What am I gonna do? So I walked in and I was like, dude, the outfit on your football player is so cool. He was like, it's not an outfit, Mom, it's a jersey, number one. And I was like, oh yeah, your jersey, tell me about your jersey, because you get to like design it and do all these cool things now. So he talked to me and he opened up to me and he told me about the non-outfit on his football player. And from that point on, I had broken down a wall. Now, when I walk past and he's playing, he's like, Mom, look at this play that I just did. Mom, he's inviting me into his world. We want that. We want to sit down, even if the kids' slideshow that they're making for school is boring. Pretend that you're interested. Sit down and be excited about it, because that is you building a bridge with tech that if you walk past and ignore them, you're totally missing that opportunity, right? Okay, oh yeah, and then play with them. Play the silly game that they want to play on their phone. Play the Nintendo game with your kid. If something interests you and someone pays attention to it, you feel good. You want to spend more time with that person. So actually show interest in what your kids are doing on technology. I know it sounds crazy and counterproductive, but I promise it'll break down walls. I promise. Okay, so we're going to encourage our child, right, in their ability to overcome adversity. We're going to help them examine their values so that they can make some goals and they can remember their value word when they're in front of big crowds. And then we're going to make plans together. We're going to foster connection. We're not just going to throw rules down in front of our kids. We're going to sit down and make them together. It makes a world of difference, especially as kids get older, when they have a say in how much time they're spending and what they're doing on their devices. Okay, these are a lot of those resources that I talked to you guys about earlier. They're all available at that QR code if you didn't get it before. That's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. It's 7:10. I can probably take like 5 minutes of questions if anyone has any. And then, or you can just leave and go out to the tables out there. Sometimes people have a million, sometimes there's not a question in the house. Yeah?
I want to ask about the no phones in their rooms.
Great.
I love that idea. We have not done it. We have them plug their phones in at night at bedtime, like they have to be plugged in the living room. But the pushback when I've tried to start that is, but I want to listen to music while I'm doing my homework, and I need my phone because I make a list of all my homework in my phone.
Yeah.
And so I would love to hear if there are parents who have instituted like no phones in the bedrooms, like how you deal with those things.
Yeah. I have lots of answers. If someone else has something they want to say, they can. I would give it as respectful as possible. I know that they are teenagers and lists can only be made in the Notes app. Like, I get that, but we also have pen and paper. And they can make that. They can make that. Another thing that I will say is Google, the little Google things that don't have screens. Alexa's little Google speakers, they play music too. And yes, if a kid tried, they could definitely ask the Alexa to talk to them in a way that we might not want as a parent, but drastically safer than the cell phone in the bedroom with the door closed. So I will always stick to that rule. I'm pretty strict on it, but I know that there are ways. We still like music. My kids listen to podcasts in their rooms on those speakers that don't have screens. Does that?
Yes, and then I'm wondering, like, so do you, like, when they come home, do you have them, like, is there a spot in your
Great
living
question.
room where they have to place the phone, like a basket, or I'm
Yeah.
thinking logistically, how do you?
That is a great question. We just have a junk table for phones and all my kids' friends' phones. So it is so awesome. We actually have this fun buddy. One of my kids up there does a podcast. We love technology. Like, he's recording a podcast every week. So he has a friend that comes over and they record a podcast on a computer and use all the tech and do everything. The second the friend walks in the door, he puts his phone on the junk table. Now, he's a very respectful kiddo. There's definitely other kiddos that I'm like, oh, hey, no, we actually don't take phones upstairs in our house, or whatever it may be. They're kids, they need reminders, but we do have a junk. There is a lot of junk. You could lose your phone on the table, but that's what we do in our home.
Thank you.
Just to go off that, last time that I came, I asked about trying to get rid of Alexa out of my room. And we found Yodo players. And you can get different audiobooks on it, music, all sorts of different things. And it is a very dumbed down version of that option.
Of Alexa.
And
Even
I have much
dumber.
younger kids, so, but it would still work, and it was from this meeting last time that I was like, oh my gosh, I've been giving my kid a phone to listen to a podcast to go to sleep, and what else is she doing with it, right? And so it was kind of that rewiring, thinking about it, what can I do, and kind of putting the excuses to the side and getting it done. So
Yes, that's so cool. You're the second mom. I had another mom that said, I came last time and I got my kid a brand new laptop and I didn't even know that the district provided Custodio. Sorry, I've been saying it wrong apparently. And so she put that on the laptop and she's been using it and it's been great. And sometimes it's just one thing. Like, there's just one thing that you take tonight and you choose to implement. And if it's no device in the bedrooms, you're my favorite person. Good job. And you can do it. I promise. I promise. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and release you guys because there's tables and there's people out there that are ready to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming. Feel free to email me,